Hey there, have you ever wondered if that shiny bar of gold in your safe is really the ultimate shield against economic chaos? Well, let's dive into some eye-opening history that might make you rethink that. Turns out, just holding gold could put you in a tricky spot if things go south. It's a lesson from the past that's super relevant today. You've probably heard gold called the perfect hedge against a world falling apart. But let's be real. Powerful leaders throughout history have turned that idea on its head to keep their systems running. We are on the edge of a massive change, something we haven't seen in 8 decades. While everyone's glued to price charts, there's a hidden rule that could make your physical stash worthless when push comes to shove. In this chat, we'll peel back the myths about gold as an inflation protector and spotlight the one key sign that the net is tightening right now. We're living in a wild financial era. As of December 23, 2025, gold's spot price has skyrocketed to $4,493.22 an ounce. That's a jaw-dropping 69.5% jump in just a year. Silver's even wilder at $71.25, up 130% from last year. It seems like a win for gold fans, right? But if you're tuned into fiscal policies and national debts, these highs are more like warning bells luring you into danger. The pricier gold gets, the more it looks like a national treasure to governments. When systems crack, they eye those who have ditched paper money for metal. You might feel secure with your stash hidden away, but history loops back to seizures, not forward to freedom. In 2025, with gold hitting its 50th record high this year amid US-Venezuela drama and a shift away from the dollar, that value spike highlights the crucial rule. If you can't relocate it easily, do you truly own it? Or are you just safeguarding it for someone with authority and a new law? To grasp why your plan might be riskier than you think, let's travel back to one of the biggest financial twists in the West. Picture April 5, 1933, during the Great Depression. Banks are crumbling, rumors of total collapse are everywhere. As a smart citizen, you swap your dollars for gold, thinking you're set. But boom, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signs Executive Order 6102 with one pen stroke. This wasn't a polite ask. It made holding gold a crime. It forced everyone to sell at the government's fixed price of $20.67 per ounce. Adjusted for today, the exemptions were tiny. You could keep about $100 in coins or 5 ounces. Skip it, you face 10 years in prison or a $10,000 fine, which in 2025 bucks is over $210,000. Ouch. This sparked a huge showdown, leading to the 1935 Gold Clause cases, where the Supreme Court basically said the government could void any gold payment contracts. Here's the rub. When a country's money policy tanks, they don't wave the white flag, they tap into the savings of folks like you who have prepared the most. It wasn't the gold that mattered, it was where you kept it. If it was under US jurisdiction, you were an easy target. You had the asset, but no way to whisk it away before the rules changed. Fast forward to now, with gold at nearly $4,500, could we be echoing 1933 with fancier prices? Shifting gears to Europe, let's talk about how Italy pulled off the same move, but with a clever psychological twist. While Americans faced jail threats, Italians got a patriotic nudge that was sneakily effective. On December 18, 1935, Benito Mussolini kicked off the Oro alla Patria, or Gold for the Fatherland, drive to fund a war in Ethiopia. They didn't storm vaults first, they asked for your wedding rings, the heart of family heirlooms. It was genius in a dark way. Owning gold became a loyalty check. That December day, crowds gathered in squares. Mussolini's wife, Rachel, led by tossing her gold band into the melt. In return, a cheap steel ring etched with Oro alla Patria that would rust away. In Rome, 250,000 plus folks turned over their gold, believing it saved the nation. But really, they surrendered their safety net to a doomed regime. Imagine the pressure. If you didn't sport that steel ring, you looked like a betrayer. Your protector asset turned into a red flag for suspicion. Today, we see echoes in how policies shame private asset holders as antisocial. But history screams that the collective good often hides a government's desperation. Italians had the gold, but not the freedom to escape the regime's grip, physically or mentally. In the end, the state got it all. Not all traps need drama or dictators. Sometimes it's just quiet paperwork, like in Australia decades later. In 1959, they passed the Banking Act, Part IV, not a panic measure, but a standing power for the Governor-General to grab private gold to protect the currency. Think about it, no matter how long you'd built your hedge, if the law saw your gold as a currency threat, your ownership was fake. They'd force a sale at their rate, not the market's. If you were in Sydney or Melbourne, you weren't a savvy saver, you were a harvestable asset. This underscores the big rule. The government's reach trumps your gold's value if you're in their zone. By 1976, when they eased up, Aussies had learned the hard way. Buying gold is only step one. Look at today's numbers. With gold's 69% yearly gain, a similar law could erase it overnight. The clash is clear. You want inflation protection, but the state needs debt steadiness. If they can't cover bills, your vault looks tempting. Those 1959 Aussies weren't bad guys, they just trusted gold as a barrier. But a barrier's no good if the issuer can snatch it back. Even posh financial spots like the UK weren't safe in the 1960s, showing any currency crisis can spark this. By 1966, the pound was tanking, and Harold Wilson's government blamed hoarders. On April 27, they twisted the Exchange Control Act to criminalize owning more than 4 gold coins post-1837, unless you had a Bank of England license. Crazy, right? 5 little sovereigns, small enough for a kid's palm, and you're a crook. They didn't need house raids. They made your gold immovable and untradeable. No local sales, no border crossings. By labeling investment gold as restricted, they locked up citizens' wealth to save the pound. If you were a holder back then, your smart move suddenly became a burden. So what does all this mean for you today? These stories aren't ancient history. They're blueprints for how governments act when backed into a corner. With gold soaring, ask yourself, is my strategy mobile enough? Don't just stack metal. Think about jurisdictions that protect your freedom to move it. If this resonates, start researching offshore options or diversified assets. Knowledge is power. Let's not repeat the past. What steps will you take to stay ahead? Share in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts.